I was at an airport once, and I saw this guy walk by me, dark hair, dark beard, had on like a plaid shirt.
Like a flannel?
Flannel shirt.
Okay.
That's it. Had on a flannel shirt. And I'm like, that looks like somebody. What is it? And then I realized, oh, that's Billy Mays. Or Mayo, or whatever the guy was that sold.
Oh, the infomercial guy.
Yes.
Okay. I knew the name.
Thought I said his name wrong for a second.
I just couldn't think of him.
I'm like, that's him. And go to figure out he was in the Tampa Bay area the same time I was flying down there.
Did
to
you get a
Tampa
picture?
Bay. No, I don't do that to people.
My grief.
I don't do that to people. So somebody was in a restaurant in Georgetown, looked across the way and go, that looks like, who is it? That's Bill Murray. Sure enough, it was Bill Murray.
Bill Murray, from what I understand, really likes the Low Country. I feel like he owns or is part owner in a cafe, a restaurant, or something in the Low Country. So maybe he's spotted around town because he's visiting. He's checking out.
He was in Georgetown at a restaurant. I think it was called Roots, and so somebody got their picture with him.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
It's very cool that they are gracious enough because you know what? It's got to get old at some point, especially if you're, of a caliber of a Bill Murray, where everybody knows your face because you've been in a million different movies. But yet he can be so gracious.
I really like his acting because he makes me laugh.
Groundhog Day? Absolutely.
Though classic. I've got to watch that movie every year.
Right.
And he's just so brilliant in that movie.
Yeah.
I've never met him, so I don't know what kind of person he is personally. He must be okay if somebody can walk up and say, hey, can I get a selfie with you?
Oh,
well,
right.
the guy's eating in a restaurant, you know?
Yeah. I had a celebrity once that I asked to get a picture with.
Oh, no, you didn't.
And I'm not going to call him out.
They said no, didn't they?
They said, and it was just the way they said no. And like we were working together on a project. I'll say that. And they said no. And I was like, oh, okay. That's cool. But it felt like, I just wanted to.
I get it.
Take a little quick 2-second selfie.
I totally get that.
I do too, because it's got, like I say, it's got to get old. But in the moment when it's you asking, that it feels your heart hurts a little bit.
And then you don't like them anymore.
You're listening to Rob and Lizz in the morning.
His radio.
Bill Murray was spotted at a restaurant in Georgetown. And he's very approachable because somebody went up, got a picture with him. He's smiling. He looks happy, which is really neat. So it's kind of neat to see some of the experiences that people have had just running into somebody famous with somewhere you didn't even think you were going to be somebody famous.
Yeah, Crystal, she texted about her husband. Her husband was in a hot tub with Vince Gill.
What?
Yeah, he was in a hot tub. Said they were at the same hotel. She said her husband was there for a youth retreat, and she has no idea why Vince Gill was there, but they were in a hot tub together.
Wow.
That's so funny.
Never would have thought of that. I mean, I was at his house once, and he came down in his PJs to the kitchen.
What?
Yeah. It was very surreal. Yeah.
Were they like Christmas PJs?
No, they're just flannel PJs and a
that's
T-shirt
hilarious.
that had holes in it.
Did it
He's just a
really?
down
To earth, humble guy.
Yeah, that's Vince.
Okay, all right. So Brenda said, a couple years ago, I met Kelly Clarkson because Brenda was working at Red Lobster in Hickory. She said she was there with her family. She was just chilling out. And she found out, I guess, that the waitress was an elementary school teacher, something like that. Anyway, she gave the server a $100 tip.
No way, really?
$100 tip.
Well, isn't that nice?
Said she was really, really
Good
cool.
for her.
Yeah.
Susan's here at 800-447-7234. What about you, Susan?
I ran into Jeff Burton at an antique store once.
No way. The NASCAR driver.
What happened?
He's my favorite one. Well, we were standing there, and my husband, he's working in NASCAR before. My father-in-law said, "Hey, Susan, there's Jeff Burton." And he likes to kid around a lot, so I'm like, yeah, right. And he said, "Oh, look." And I turned around, I'm like, "Oh, my gosh, it's Jeff Burton." So I went up to him and got a picture with him.
Was he super nice?
He's very nice, very humble, awesome guy.
That's good. I'm glad you had a great experience.
Thank you.
You're listening to Rob and Lizz in the morning.
His radio.
Thinking about the people that you just run into that all of a sudden you figure out, oh, this is somebody who's on TV, movies, or sports.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. So this happened to Teresa. Her dad, she was with her dad this past weekend on his honor flight in D.C. Dave Mars from HGTV, it's Dave and Jenny, they have a show together. He was there with his wife and his daughter, but Dave walked over to Teresa's daddy and shook his hand and thanked him for his service. And then he asked Teresa's dad to take a picture with him.
Oh, that's great.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I know
right
this
there.
couple, not personally. I like their TV show. They're just so clean, a fun-loving
Yes.
couple. It's just, the Mars are just wonderful. I love that TV show.
And they like to save people money, too, which I like that.
They do,
Yeah.
with that whole renovation thing.
Right? So Mindy said, what's really terrible is that I have a husband that looks like Kurt Russell. And it's like the paparazzi every time we go somewhere.
Really?
So she sends us a picture, and he does. I can see the resemblance like crazy, like these deep, deep dimples. Like there's little people inside their little mouths pulling strings.
The hair
to
and
make
the
dimples.
eyebrows
Yes,
do
and the smile.
resemble that.
So I totally get it, Mindy. Wow,
Yeah.
girl.
Chastity's here at 800-447-7234. Who'd you run into?
I actually got to meet Dale Earnhardt Jr. personally.
Lil E.
Where?
So he has a fan day, like when he was still in racing, he had a fan day, and you had to basically put your name in like a drawing to be picked, and my name was actually picked to meet him. And he was super friendly. He drove in a little S10 pickup truck. Like, he was really cool.
So you've always been a fan.
Oh, yeah. When I found out that I won, like, I literally started bawling. I was so happy.
Oh, well, I hope he lived up to what you expected.
Oh, yeah. He was super friendly. He was kind. He was really nice.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
My favorite, the peanut butter. It's Rob and Liz in the morning, his radio.
Are you talking about M&Ms?
Yeah.
Peanut butter M&Ms?
Oh, they're so
Those
good.
are nice. I think that's Scott's favorite one, too.
I like those. I like the peanut version, the one with the peanut inside.
On the
peanut
inside of
M&Ms.
it.
Oh, the yellow
Yeah.
bag.
What
Okay,
were you
I got it.
talking about?
No, these are peanut butter on the middle.
They're good,
in the
too.
middle.
That's called Reese's.
No, it's M&M.
They have Reese's Pieces.
No,
That's
they're-
what that's called.
To me, they're totally different. The M&M peanut butter ones, they're a little bigger and a little softer. The Reese's Pieces, you got to hold them in your hand. Look, I know. You got to hold them in your hand for a
She
little bit
knows.
and let them melt a little bit.
There's going to be a new one out just in time for the trunk or treats and the festivals that are going on this weekend into Tuesday of next week, and they are campfire s'mores. M&M's campfire s'mores.
Do they have a marshmallow middle, I wonder? Because how
Yeah.
else? Oh, they do?
Marshmallow, vanilla, candy shell, the whole thing. It's all M&M packed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it makes sense if it's actually got a marshmallow center. If it's marshmallow flavored, that usually doesn't translate so well.
Well, you know, I don't know if it's marshmallow. It's
Yeah.
toasted. They say it tastes like toasted marshmallow.
Okay. I
Just
mean,
don't
it's
try to
worth-
toast it yourself.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
Just got an open mic in from the My HISRadio app with His Radio. It's Rob and Liz in the morning. That's, by the way, the open mic's really cool to use on the My HISRadio app. You can download the app for free. You can tap on the open mic, record whatever you want. So let's check in with the open mic.
Good morning, Rob and Liz. Liz, I 100% totally agree with you. The peanut butter M&Ms are the bomb. My second favorite, which used to be my first favorite, are the peanut M&Ms in the yellow bag. I hope you guys have a great day.
Well, thank you so much. Yeah, the peanut ones are nice.
Peanut
Liz
butter better.
loves those. Peanut butter, you
Peanut
said.
butter.
See, I haven't had that one, although I would feel like I would like it way too much.
Well, the thing is with M&Ms lately, there's so many flavors. There's cookie dough, don't like it. The crispy ones, don't like them. Caramel, love them. I mean, you could just keep going and going and going and going.
Somebody said mint. Who said mint?
I did.
Yeah, so that's your jam, Jake?
Mint M&Ms. Yeah, I'm a big mint chocolate person.
Okay, so the mint cookies.
Yeah, mint cookies. I get like a mint chocolate ice cream shake from Cookout sometimes.
Really?
Yeah.
That sounds delicious.
It's my jam.
How in the world do you stay skinny like that?
I just
Some kind of
religiously go to the gym.
some kind of metabolism. Well,
Right?
you can't eat a good workout. I mean, you
wow.
can't fight that. But he's got metabolism like there's no tomorrow.
But I'm going to tell you, Girl Scouts, Girl Scout cookies, he's going to be
That's-
all about the Thin Mints.
That's coming up in a few months. So quickly. Okay, well, I'm glad you like those M&Ms.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
So Jordan's like 10 years old, and I like what his teacher does in the classroom. sits them down in a circle. They have discussion time.
Aw.
So they're talking about things. And somehow it came up that Jordan is colorblind. And so he sees gray when others see like purple and some other colors, which I totally get that because I'm colorblind too. And so the teacher looked at Jordan and said, they have glasses for that. He goes, yeah, I know. They're way too expensive. I can't afford them, so I won't see colors. So this is the cool part. Other students in his class, mind you, these are 10-year-old kids. Other students in his class got together enough money to buy him those glasses.
No, they did not.
Yes, they did too.
Aw.
Isn't that so nice?
It is really nice that they heard somebody's need. My pastor says a need known is an opportunity given. And I'm like, I love that. And that's exactly what these kids did.
Great opportunity. I'm colorblind, so I've never seen anything brilliant in color. We were driving through the mountains because we were going to an airport to go to celebrate somebody's birthday in our family in Florida. And so my wife's talking about some of the colors, and I'm like, that must be nice. I said, I see a little bit of this. I see a little bit of that. She goes, oh, no, it's brilliant. It looks so beautiful right now. I'm like, wow, that's neat.
Yeah.
And then flying over and seeing some of the colors. I saw this ad on, I think it was YouTube. I was watching something on YouTube, and it was out of Tennessee. And they have binoculars in Tennessee at different lookout points for people who are colorblind who can see the colors. So I don't know if it worked for me. I took a test in one of these glasses things. Not only are they stupid expensive. I'm sorry, some people don't like that word. But not only are they crazy expensive, but the test that I took showed that at least this brand wouldn't work for me.
Really?
Yeah. But to see some of the people's emotion in that one commercial, looking through these binoculars that were at different locations at lookouts in Tennessee to see the fall colors, and there were tears to their eyes.
I can imagine that. In fact, I've known that Rob has been colorblind, ever since I've known you, basically. I've never thought about the fact that when you drive the Blue Ridge Parkway or some of these places, and I see these brilliant colors that bring me to tears and think of how God painted these colors that you haven't seen it, that actually makes me emotional.
Really?
Yeah.
That's been all my life. I don't know any different, which is okay.
But seeing them, I can only imagine.
I just know heaven's going to be a cool place.
Woo!
Because I won't have the deficiency in heaven. And so that's just going to make heaven really super amazing to me.
It is. The
right?
first time you see it and all of its splendor and glory.
And all those colors.
Wow.
I'll have to learn a lot of colors.
Rob and Lizz.
His morning crew.
Jessica is ingenious. There's part of this mom hack that Jessica has that I love. And then part of it I'm like, okay, here's what she does. She needs a break from her kids sometimes.
Okay.
And I, as a mom of 3, I feel you. Like every now and then you just need a breather. You need a minute.
What's her hack?
Her hack is to buy your kids glow-in-the-dark pajamas and then tell them to lay down on the floor because they got to charge those bad boys up. And so they're going to lay there and they're going to be very still and they're just going to lay on the floor while they're little pajamas. Now, it's not it's not the truth that she's telling them, but oh, wow.
Good luck with that.
But it's also a game. I think it could work.
It will work probably the first time, half of the second time. And then they're like, enough. We don't need these things to glow. They'll stand up and do whatever they want to do and take off.
Maybe. But if even that first time it works, you got to turn the lights on really bright in the house because that's what actually does charge that glowing stuff.
Well, that'll help them go to sleep.
Well, no, it's not to get them to go to sleep. It's to get them to calm down a little bit. Okay? Here's what I used to do with my kids to get them to get up and get ready for school.
You feed them.
Every single day I had something different. Like Friday, they loved those cinnamon-y things. I think it was Burger King or whatever. And I would say, today's cinnamon-y day. And then, another day of the week was today is free day at PE or whatever it was. Every day had a theme. And, man, they were up and ready to go.
Look at this. Mom of the Year.
Yeah.
Her book is going to be coming out on Tyndale.
Rob and Lizz.
His morning crew.
So Larry and Joyce own the storage facility, and there was this abandoned semi-trailer that was sitting there, so they opened it up, and they're like, okay, we got to clean this out, get rid of it, do whatever we have to do. There was one thing in it that they thought, we have to find the owner of this. It was a family Bible. It dates back to 1851.
Oh, my goodness.
I know. Such an old Bible. 1851. There was Mother Day cards on the inside of it. Marriage and death certificates, letters. There was so much that was in this Bible. 1851. They said, well, we've got to find the family.
You have
So
to.
they went all over social media, and they got nowhere. Dead ends all over the place. So they wound up taking the Bible to a local TV station in Michigan. And so, of course, the TV station went on and then finally found the family.
I am so glad.
Yeah.
It tells me a couple things. Family doesn't have social media, but they do have a television.
Yeah, right?
And
Well, the lady who said, oh, that's our family. That's really cool. It's her dad's side of the family. She has been trying to do something with her family tree forever. And this unlocked a big key of it, especially with all the Mother's Day cards and the letters and everything else that was in there.
Oh, absolutely. If you're putting together one of those family trees, you can do the Ancestry and the 23andMe and all this stuff. There's still going to be holes. There's still going to be places. And when you have this kind of information that's coming in, names, dates, baby, because in Bibles, especially way back when, I don't know if we still do it today. We don't. But when a baby's born, you list it in the family Bible.
That used to happen. You're right. I think
Yeah.
that's a lost art
I do
because
too.
so many people are reading their Bible on their phone now,
Right.
on their devices.
Yeah, and then posting when the baby's born all over social media, and you forget that we need to write it down, even though it's going to be on the World Wide Web forever, There you
For
go.
what?
I know. It was a throwback.
Rob and Lizz.
His morning crew.
Now it looks like there are some people that are trying to get the license that you have to drive your car or the ID from the state you live in on the phone, and Georgia is going to accomplish this. It's Rob and Lizz in the morning, his radio. So right now they have it available on Android. And on the Android phones, you can get your license on the phone in Georgia. And they're saying that's going to help go through TSA, at some airports, especially Hartsfield and some other ones that are around in Georgia.
Well, yeah, I would think Atlanta Hartsfield has to kind of be behind it since it's happening in Georgia. You would think. But that's pretty cool because you can have your boarding pass as well as your driver's license if you have to show both of those things. Now we got to get the passport on that bad boy, and then we'll be able to really just,
Well, right now at TSA, you're just showing your license. You don't have to show the boarding pass because they already know if you're flying or not.
Well, but I'm saying like both. Like you're not having to dig around in your, at least for me, into your handbag and then into your wallet.
I'm not carrying around a handbag myself.
Right? So you've got your boarding pass. Here's what I have to do. You have your boarding pass on your phone, but then I have to get in before I go through security to find the driver's license and or the passports.
Now they say, while this is convenient, still carry your real license. Well, your license that's not on your phone with you.
Yeah, like the hard copy, I guess you would say. But
and if you're traveling, that's the Georgia license on a phone is not going to work in another TSA in some other states. So you still have to have your other one with you because they'll scan that card through TSA.
So I wonder, like, if you're pulled over on the road and you've got your license on your phone, can you show that? Or will the officers then ask for the hard copy?
You know what's going to be wild? If it's like I have it on my phone, but you still have to carry it with you, but you show it to the phone. Usually, if you're pulled over for a speeding ticket, they take your license and walk back to the car.
Oh, they'll take your phone.
Yeah, so they'll take your phone, go back to the car, and then all of a sudden, while they're typing, the phone's going to go dark, and then it's going to require a passcode. So then the police officer has to go back to the car and say, can you just look at your phone for me? Thank you. And then go back to the car, finish the report. The phone goes sleep mode again. They have to get out of the car, go back to the person. I mean, that just sounds like...
You just exhausted me, and I'm not even an officer.
Rob and Lizz.
His morning crew.
It's like a countdown of 10 if you look at it on Saturdays.
I see these posts with like a little elf on my Instagram or wherever, and I'm like, yeah.
Right?
Yes.
How wild. And then CBS says, okay, we've got our holiday schedule for all the specials already planned out for you.
Well, I would think so. In fact, I bet they even scheduled it like last year as soon as it was over.
Yeah, so the one thing that's like a staple is Rudolph and Frosty.
Yeah.
So they're going to both be back on CBS. The other ones I haven't really heard of. I mean, they've got Drew Carey, Mariah Carey.
Yeah.
Almost sounds like they're a couple, but they're not. Two different people. Let's see. Some other things. Oh, and the Thanksgiving Day Parade, which they don't call it Macy's on CBS because that is something that's sold to NBC, and it's Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade on NBC, which they're in front of Macy's and do all the shows. If you ever go bounce back and forth between the two, on CBS, you never see any of the performances. You just see the parade.
I never knew that.
Yeah, and CBS doesn't call it Macy's. They just call it the Thanksgiving Day Parade, and they're in New York City.
You sound like you are up in your pajamas every Thanksgiving morning.
No.
And you are really?
Seriously, no.
Because you know an awful lot about it, Mr. Dempsey.
That's because I'm a media geek.
Really?
Yes, I'm a media geek. So
Okay.
I study all this stuff, and I go, what? I had a question mark one time. I saw it that it was on both, and I'm like, why? I don't. Stop it. I don't. So I'm like, why is it not called Macy's on CBS? And then I studied and found out.
I still see you in my mind's eye in your pajamas.
You want to know
with
what I'm
your
doing?
Cup of coffee.
Literally during that time,
Crisscross applesauce.
I'm outside running or cycling, taking
Okay.
advantage of the morning.
That is probably what you're doing. to tell you the
Seriously, I
truth.
am. I'm
But-
exercising at that time.
But you've DVR'd the parade.
No?
Okay.
No, seriously, no.
I see you crisscross applesauce with your morning breakfast and your cup of coffee.
You live that fantasy world. It's nice.
It makes me happy to think of you that way.
Listen, Scott has a memory of the CBS thing going on the television before these specials come off when he was a little kid.
Oh, yeah?
This was like the kickoff to Christmas for me because I got so excited when the Rudolph, the Frosties, the shows started coming on TV. But at the very beginning, do you remember they had that little spinning logo, CBS, and it would be like, dun, 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 dun.
Wow.
That's exactly how it went.
That's
You
how
remember
it
that?
went out?
And that was like, oh my gosh, this is big. And
How'd it
would
go
be
again?
The Frosty.
I
You
want to
ready?
relive it,
Okay.
yeah, because
Dun, 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 dun.
No, I don't remember.
And it had the spinning logo. You got to find it. But that was one memory of mine that I have.
Rob and Lizz.
His morning crew.
So I'm hearing that a lot of people think that the family recipes that have been passed down generations or just one generation, if they were to sell those recipes, they would make money. In fact,
Really?
they would be best sellers. Like they would make money hand over fist.
Some, maybe, yeah. I can see some of them, maybe.
Well, and I think there's some family members that have a recipe and they know it's so good and they don't want anybody else, like I have to pass away before you get this recipe or don't share it outside the family. Look, my family, it's my in-laws, their recipe for mac and cheese casserole is the bomb diggity.
Really?
It is the best. You will not be able to top
Why
this.
have you never brought this in?
I haven't.
No,
I have not.
she has not.
Well-
she does bakery stuff, but that's about it.
Right. So here's the deal. I am not selling this thing. I think if you have something that is that great, share it with the world. So you know what? Anybody that wants it can have this recipe.
Okay, well, that's nice.
Yeah, if you want the best, it has a dash of Texas Pete in it.
So who did what in it?
Texas Pete, the little hot sauce.
Oh, Texas
just,
Pete.
Just a little.
Thought she said something completely different.
No, like a little dash of it. A little dash of it. It's so
Okay.
good.
All right.
So if you want my recipe, you can actually text and get the recipe. Text 800-447-7234.
Well, they just give me the recipe.
Text the word MAC.
M-A-C?
M-A-C.
M-A-C.
Mac and cheese.
Okay, would you do me a favor? Just do it. Because if
Does it make
nobody
me feel better?
does,
Listen, if
Let's
nobody
just-
wants it, that's okay. That's your loss.
yeah. But she's gonna be watching the text line. Just please,
am.
please just text
I
Mac.
am, right?
We have to
Live
be
with
here
me?
with her.
You almost said that. You almost said we have to live with her.
But I don't.
Gosh, you sounded like my husband
I
at that
know,
point.
right? Yeah.
Oh, look. Mm-hmm. Hi, Mike. You're getting my mac and cheese recipe. What's up, Mike? Thanksgiving gonna be so much better at your house. 'Cause so does Kathy. So does Michelle. Okay.
All right. I don't know how it's any better than the one Scott has.
Well, it's not mine. My wife's mac and cheese. We need to have like a mac and cheese
Off.
throwdown.
A
Yeah.
mac off.
Because she's got a recipe that her grandmother made and it was passed down to her mom, and now it's trickled down to her. And I don't know how to make it, but it is really good.
Oh, you don't know how to make it, so you don't know the recipe? Okay, cool.
Oh,
I'm just
listen,
the eating
see,
part.
she's still trying to sell hers for free.
Yeah, I got it.
What's so different in yours? Huh?
What?
What's so different in your recipe?
The cheese.
I don't know. I'm just the eating part of the program. My
That's
wife
it.
makes it, I eat it.
Rob and Lizz.
His morning crew.
Good night. You try to help. And then there's oh no. A thought of panic. It's Rob and Lizz in the morning, his radio. So some people are saying if we sold our family recipe one day down the line, like bush beans,
Yes.
the dog knows the recipe. He's not going to tell anybody, and then the dog talks. if you've seen the commercials. So Liz is like, okay, there's a recipe in my family. I'm not going to sell it. I'm just going to give it away. And so we're like, my first thought was, I hope some people will at least text to get the recipe, MAC. You text that word, the recipe comes right to you. And I'm thinking, wow, I just hope. And I prayed. And then 74 people responded. They want the recipe. So Liz looks at me and she goes, oh no. I'm like, what?
I'm freaking out.
Now she's freaking out because so many went out. Why?
Because even one, then I started thinking, oh my goodness, what if it doesn't go well and their Thanksgiving dinner is ruined and they're like, Liz's recipe just messed up Thanksgiving.
Now she's thinking she's ruining people's Thanksgiving.
No, and
because you might not like it now.
No, you will. You'll love it. You'll love it. Just make sure that milk covers everything when it cooks because it's going to be super creamy and y'all going to be like, this is the best.
Yeah. So if it goes wrong, blame Liz.
No. Blame your
So,
oven.
Yeah. So still do me a favor. She will be a little, nobody wants my recipe if nobody texts MAC. So go ahead and text it and we'll make her happy and then life will be joyous around here and we'll be able to, get along. 800-447-7234 MAC.
Yes, and Kim had a really good idea. She said try the recipe out before Thanksgiving so that you make sure it does work for you and you know how.
Thank you, Kim.
Thank you. You just saved me.
We appreciate the text. She's still in panic mode a little bit, though.
It's good,
So
though.
Donald's here. What's up, Donald?
We have a huge family on my mom's side. She had 13 brothers and sisters. And so men and women alike, all of us cook a lot. And so my cousin actually put out on Facebook for all of our family to send in family recipes that they do, and she's putting together a cookbook. There's a company that will put them all together, so you just send the company all your recipes, and they'll make a cookbook for you. And so our whole family is going to get a family recipe cookbook.
I love
So
that.
I just thought that was a neat idea when my cousin came up with that idea.
And something you can pass down to the rest of your kids.
See, I have 10 kids, so I'll get 10 of them and have my kids will have one for each. Each one of my kids will have one, and on down family recipes.
Stop a second. Stop. 10 kids?
Yes.
10?
We have 3 biological and we've adopted 7.
Look
Oh,
at you,
good
Donald.
for you. I love your heart. 7 children that now have a forever home because of your family.
Yes.
All right, if you ever think about selling that recipe book, you let us know because I'm going to buy one.
All right.